Hello everyone, welcome once again. Today we are going to study a new chapter of ninth standard, that is matter in our surroundings. So it is chapter of chemistry, so we will talk about matter in this chapter. Anything that occupies space and has mass is felt by senses is called a matter. Whatever the thing that we can see in our surrounding which has any mass, or we can feel it, or it is occupying any space, we can call it as matter. Now, according to Indian ancient philosopher, matter is the form of five basic elements. In our religion, we used to say that five basic elements are there, that is air, earth, fire, sky, and water. All the matter or all the things that we are having in our surrounding, they are made up of these five basic elements. Now, what are the different characteristics of particles of matter? Made of tiny particles, they are made up of very tiny particles. Vacant spaces exist between particles, there is some space between them. Particles are continuous motion, they are continuously keeps moving. Particles are held together by the force of attraction. There is some force acting between the particles by which they are attached to each other. Now, states of matter. What are the different states of matter? Basic classification of type. First one is based upon particle arrangement. How they are arranged, on the basis of that matter is divided. Second is based on energy of particle, how much energy they are having. Third is based upon distance between particles, how much distance is there between the particles of the matter. Now there are total 5 states of matter. First one is solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and Bose Einstein condensate. So we will start with solid. What are the different properties of solid, that we will see. As you can see in the diagrams, the matter solid is having very close particles. There is very less space between the particles, or we can say there is no space. Let's look at the properties. Fixed mass, volume, and shape. Solids have fixed mass, fixed volume, and fixed shape. Their mass, volume, and shape does not change. Interparticle distance are least. Interparticles, the distance between the particles is very less. Incompressible, because there is no distance, so we cannot compress it. High density and do not diffuse. The density is high and they do not diffuse from one place to another place. Interparticle force of attraction are strongest, because they are strongly pegged. That is why interparticle force of attraction are strongest. Constituent particles are very closely pegged. The particles of these matter of constituent are closely pegged. Now let's talk about liquid. If you can differentiate with the help of diagram, these particles are very closely packed, whereas if we talk about liquid, there is some space between them. They do not have fixed shape, but they have fixed volume and mass. As in case of solids, the shape was also fixed, but here shape is not fixed, but volume and mass is fixed. Interparticle distance are larger. It is larger than solid, as we can see with the help of diagram. Almost incompressible. It is incompressible, but as compared to solid, it is less incompressible. Density is lower than solids and can diffuse. The density of particles is lower than solids and they can diffuse, as they have space between them. Interparticle force of attraction are weaker than solids. The strongest force of attraction is in solids than in liquids. Constituent particles are less closely packed. The particles are less closely packed as compared to the solids. Now we will talk about gas. Neither fixed shape nor fixed volume. As we have seen in case of liquid, shape was not fixed, but volume and mass was fixed. But in case of gases, neither they have fixed shape nor they have fixed volume. Interparticle distance are largest. In solids, it was very least. In case of liquid, it was much better than solids, but here the distance is largest. They are highly compressible. Density is least and they can diffuse. Interparticle force of attraction are weakest, and constituent particles are free to move about. If we talk about solids, they have strong force of attraction, less space between them. And if we talk about liquids, they have less strong force of attraction between the particles and then gases. This is the sequence. But if we talk about that how compressible, then gases will be more than liquid, after that solid. Now let's talk about fourth type of matter, that is plasma. A plasma is an ionized gas. It is very good conductor of electricity and is affected by magnetic field. It is an ionized gas. Plasma like gases have an indefinite shape and indefinite volume. Plasma are, we can say, they are basically ionized gas. They do not have definite shape and definite volume. Next one is Bose-Einstein condensate, that is non-evaluative. A Bose-Einstein condensate, that is BEC, is a state of matter that can arise at very low temperature. It arises at very low temperature. That scientists who worked with Bose-Einstein condensate received a Nobel Prize. They have also received Nobel Prize for their work in 1995. The Bose-Einstein condensate is all about molecules that are really close to each other, even closer than atoms in solid. Means the Bose-Einstein condensate, they have their matter more close than the solids. Means they are having more strong than the solids. Now microscopic explanation for the properties of solids. Solids have definite shape, definite volume because the particles are locked into place. They do not flow easily because the particles cannot move. Solids are not compressible because there is little free space between the particles. We all know these things. About liquids, liquids are not easily compressible. They have definite volume because there is a little free space between particles. As compared to solids, liquids have free space. Liquids flow easily because the particles can move, slide on one another. They can flow easily, the particles can slide on one another. Next one is for gases. Gases are easily compressible, or we can say they are highly compressible. There is a great deal free space between the particles. They can flow from one place to another place. They do not have definite shape, neither definite volume. After that comes plasma. Plasma have an indefinite shape and indefinite volume because the particles can move past one another. They are easily compressible, means plasma have the properties similar to gas. Plasma are good conductors of electricity and are affected by magnetic fields. Next is properties of Bose-Einstein condensate. Particles are less energetic than solids because exist at very low temperature, but they have more strong forces than the solids. They are more closely packed as compared to the solids. They have superfluidity because particles can flow without friction. Particles are literally indistinguishable because they are locked into the same place. Now there are some interchange in state of matter. If we talk about solid, if the solid directly converts into gas, then that process is called sublimation. The change of solid directly into vapor. For example, ammonium chloride, camphor. Camphor you must have seen in your houses. We used to keep it. After that comes evaporation. When the water changes into liquid, then it is called evaporation. So evaporation is the process by which the water changes into liquid form. Evaporation and boiling. After that comes evaporation, condensation. Condensation is the form in which the gas is again converted into liquid. If we cool the gas, it will be converted into liquid. This process is called condensation. So we have talked about three processes, that is sublimation, evaporation and condensation. These all three processes involves in the change in state of matters. That's all about this chapter. I hope you understood it well. For more details, stay connected to me. Thank you and have a good day to all of you.